Happy Sunday! And not a bittersweet Sunday for me because I have work off tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining me on this Sunday. I'm gonna be honest, I am so tired. I'm so tired, and we have a lot to talk about today, so I might go a little bit rapid fire. And the reason that we're using this model is because like I said, I have so many notes. I tried to export my notes as an image, and then that way I can like look at it on the screen like I did last time, but it was like too pixelated. I couldn't read it at all, so we're just gonna go straight into it. Well, wait. Yeah. I guess just gonna go straight into it. I was trying to think like, do I have anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. My body is tired. It's like the kind of tired that you have after you're sick, but I'm not sick. I was just dancing all day yesterday. If you're not in the Discord, I talked about, well, on Friday I talked about how I was gonna go to a concert, and even on like my schedule post I talked about going to a concert, and I had to get there at 5 p.m. I'll probably share more about the concert next week once I've you know, settled that it's happened. Try not to live in the past anymore. Oh my god, but it was so much fun. Wait, my watch kept being like, hey, you know, you're exercising, you exercised this much today, good job. And I was thinking like, dude, I'm not walking. I like 200%ed my walking goal, and I was like, I'm not even walking, I'm just dancing. How many steps did they think that I took yesterday? They think that I took 25,500 steps, and I did walk a little bit, yeah, but oh my god, it's actually so fun. Literally, I went to go see Porter Robinson. He went on, he played from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Literally, like, when he goes on, my steps doubled. Like, the bar doubled for the step. The thing about Porter is that it's non-stop bangers all the time. And it was a DJ set too. Anyways, that was so much fun. I did share a video. I got front row because I got there at 5 and I did not leave my spot. Not once. I mean, I did go use the bathroom, but I came back. I timed it so like I could get back easily. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We'll talk about that next Saturday when I have a Zatsu planned. Oh gosh. I had to catch my breath. Yeah. Oh man, sorry. My body's just so tired, and clearly my mind is tired too. I'm just gonna go ahead and read into our notes. Welcome to our Succession Sunday. That is right. Every week we recap what we've been watching on Succession, and can you believe it, guys? Alright, today we're recapping the last 4 episodes because I didn't talk about it last week because my stomach hurt. But we are going to be recapping episode 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then right after this we're going straight into the Discord to watch 7 and 8. And then after that, we only have one more episode before we end the season. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? We're already almost done with this show. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. But yeah, I'll ask for your valued opinion towards the end. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. If you'd like to fill out our Succession form, our character little stock thing, let me get that for you. Our sucks poll is taking submissions. Our Succession characters exchange stock. Let me know who you're investing in, who you're selling, and what characters you want to skip for this week. I'm very interested in seeing you know, who you guys are picking. This is yes. Okay. Oops. Download responses. Delete the ones from the week before. Yeah, alright. Okie dokie. Let's hop straight into it. So last week we watched 4 episodes. Like I said, we watched episode 3 of season 3, The Disruption. With the DOJ at the door, Logan summons his arsenal while Tom makes a potentially life-changing offer. Kendall becomes obsessed with his own takedown. So we get to see Kendall, who is in a, I don't know if like manic state is the right word to use, but he does seem a little off his rocker. The juice is loose, baby. The first note I wrote down is that Kendall is clearly concerned how he comes across, even when he says otherwise. He insists to his circle of friends, the PR girls, Comfrey and like the other girl, and then you know, Greg and Naomi Watts. Naomi Pierce. Naomi Pierce. So the scene that I'm thinking of specifically is when they're all in the limo about to go to like that little fancy party or whatever that they're going to. And Kendall says, let's play a game. Good tweet, bad tweet. So he points at, you know, the people in his little entourage. He's like, all right, Greg, good tweet. And then Greg has to find a good tweet about Kendall. And then, you know, okay, Comfrey, bad tweet. She has to read a bad tweet about Kendall. And it's like, he tries to be like, oh yeah, none of this bothers me. But it clearly bothers him. I also wrote down a note of Jerry as the CEO. She is the, what do you call it? Intermittent? Or is it like interim CEO? She's the placeholder CEO, while Logan kind of, what's the word? I guess irons out the bad things he has going on with the DOJ. But he says specifically, I hope our acting CEO isn't too acting. And then Carl, he also, like when Jerry's telling him to do something, he's like, yeah, you know, like just kind of like dismissive, yeah. So it's very clear that it's really like, you know, just a title. She's not really expected to hold any responsibility. Logan doesn't want her to hold any responsibility, and he also has told his other underlings to not really take Jerry so seriously when she gives them orders. And that's 2 things that I've noted. I wrote down PR line, we get it. Oh, because it was they were gonna do the whole little town hall where they invited all their shareholders, I think. Was it their shareholders? Or maybe just like employees, the staff of Waystar Royco. They had them all over and they were giving that talk, right? And then Hugo, who is like the head of communications, the little Weasley guy who wants to cut Carolina out of everything. Carolina is the other girl boss with the brunette dark bob. And he comes up with the PR line, we get it, you know, like we get it that this stuff is bad and that it's happened. But I wrote like, yeah, I noted it because it just sounded very dismissive, and I think it's seeing like how much strategy that they're putting behind it. And you know, we all know that the cruise line is like the cruise scandals is like a very, it's a bad thing. Sorry, I wish I could be more eloquent right now, but I can't. I feel like I can't articulate any thought. But yeah, you know, it's like bad things that happen on the cruises, right? Murder, sexual assault, a lot of cover-ups. Very much a no-no, a very naughty business that they're partaking in. And like the fact that they're going about it so like, I don't know, like surgically is the right word, but like, you know, it's just coming from a very corporate standpoint to simultaneously like cover their asses, but also I guess appease all parties by taking some accountability but distancing themselves enough from it, you know. I don't know, but it's very like I think it mirrors Kendall's well, where Kendall, he wants to like take accountability for it and everything, but like from both of them, both like Waystar as a corporation and like Kendall's motivations, it's both self-serving, right? It's not like they're doing this because they actually want to do good, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my thought on that PR line. Greg's office demotion. Yes, Tom told him that Greg has to pack it up from his little window office, even though Greg, he wanted to move somewhere where what did he say? Like, he said his office neighbor like sneezes like a cartoon character. And yeah, so Greg, he's like trying to get to like another, you know, he's trying to move himself up, but instead Tom demotes his office situation, basically throws him into what looks like storage space to me. I'm like, is this even a real office? But yeah, it's like a glorified closet. And I wrote down, like, I wonder if he got demoted because he's not taking the company lawyer. If you remember, he went to his grandpa, Ewan, and Ewan connected him with his lawyer friend, Pew, I think is his name. And, you know, I think they both wanted to take advantage of Greg's situation to have their own personal takedown of Ewan's brother, Logan. But yeah, Greg, he, at this point in time, this is a couple episodes ago, but at this point in time, his allegiance wasn't too clear. Ultimately, I think we've seen that Greg's allegiance is always going to be to himself. He's going to flip-flop and side with whoever is going to advance his own personal well-being and, like, you know, align with his ambitions. Let's see. So yeah, I also wrote down that Tom offering Greg his legal advice. Yeah, because Tom was like, well, I have a lawyer. And this is where Tom finds out that he's completely fucked. Like, no matter what, he's probably going to go to jail for covering up the cruise scandal. But Tom does offer Greg his legal advice, and he's like, hey, you know, if you want to come with me, like, I will set you up with my law team, and like, maybe, you know, I'm going to look out for you. Like, he's actually, when he told Greg in the first episode or two that he was gonna have Greg under his wing, he really means it. And like, we really do see that that there is like loyalty between them. I don't know if Greg is as loyal from what we've seen. I don't think that he's as loyal to Tom as Tom is as loyal as Tom is to Greg. But I don't know, it's still nice to see that their little bromance is still bubbling. We get Kendall Roy coming in and say, fuck the patriarchy. Wait, you know, I'm a timeout right here. Because I'm gonna pause my notes. I'm gonna read the rest of the synopsises because I have a meme reel that I completely forgot about that I can have to circulate while I'm reading the notes. You guys have something more to look at. Okay, so the disruption, DOJ at the door, Logan summons his arsenal while Tom makes a potentially life-changing offer. So he tells Logan, like, hey, I will go to jail for you. I've already been told that I'm fucked, so if you need a scapegoat, like, I'm offering myself up right now. And then Kendall becomes obsessed with his own takedown. He definitely thinks he's paranoid that his whole family is, what do you call it? Like conspiring against him, I guess. For example, when he goes back into Waystar, because I mean, he did leak company information, and like, who was it? I think Carolina, the one with the bob, the brunette with the bob, she said like, I don't think that you're an employee anymore because you broke your contract. So like, you know, you broke NDA, so you're not like a employee here anymore. So they like cut his card access. And I don't know, I think he still like just barged his way in, didn't he? He's like, okay, well, you know, fuck you guys, I'm just gonna keep walking in, even though they try to stop him from getting in there. And he goes into his office and he's like, oh wait, Jess, who is his assistant? He's like, Jess, I think that they've sabotaged my AC. It doesn't feel like 68 degrees in here. It feels more like a 67 or something, like 67 or something like that. But yeah, he's getting definitely a little paranoid. And then in this episode, we also see that he sabotages Shiv's speech, but I'll talk about that in a second. The next episode after that was Lion in the Meadow, where Logan and Kendall have their first meeting together with Josh, a major investor who's worried about their family feud. talk about that more in a second. After that, we watched it's the episodes from last week. Retired janitors of Idaho. Kendall and the Waystar team find themselves working together at the annual shareholders meeting where Logan's health takes a turn. We learned that Logan has a UTI and he wasn't taking his medication, so he ended up becoming like pretty delirious and confused and not sure what was going on. And I think that also struck a lot of it shook their confidence in his abilities to continue leading the company. Even in the last episode, we see that Logan, he gets like heat stroke or something. He becomes unwell while they're talking to Josh, the investor. So Logan's health is kind of, it was kind of here and there. We started the season off with Logan being in the hospital. He gets better for a little bit and we see like how much of a driving force he is for all of these characters in the company, but now his health is starting to decline a little bit again. He is an old man doing a very, I'm sure, strenuous job. It's honestly a miracle that he's still able to work after having a stroke in the first season. But his health is coming back into focus. And then the other episode we watched is What It Takes. Logan and team head to Virginia for a conservative political conference where Roman finds out surprising news about his mother. She's getting married to a guy named Peter Munyon. Who the hell is he? Alright, so those are all the other episodes. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to reading my notes and you guys can enjoy these memes that I found on Pinterest. The Succession fandom is very, very peculiar. So as we are reaching the end stretch of the season, I have a whole repository of memes that I'm able to show you guys that you guys might be able to understand now. It's like very shitposty. There's like a lot of like cross sections. There's very like baby, like girly popification and like babyfying a lot of these characters that I find really fascinating. Like, how did this like very seemingly boring corporate show end up with such a girly pop fandom? I'm hopefully will be able to answer that question after we finish the show, because I've been wondering that for years. But yeah, all right, back to my notes. Yes, Kendall, Roy, as they're walking up the stairs to their little event thing, I don't remember what it was, but he tells Naomi, he's like, oh, should I give them something? And he turns around, he's like, fuck the patriarchy. Completely performative. That was something that I talked about extensively during our last recap stream. Dude, my brain is so fried. Kendall's constant performative feminism that he's always doing. Here's a good example of a meme. Kendall Roy says he'll donate $6 to end misogyny. Wow. And then another one would be here we go, and this one's like an actual screenshot from the show. Twitter may go down, but Kendall Roy ratio is forever. So we see a tweet from the show, Kendall Roy, the real Kendall Roy. We must overthrow the corruption that silences. We must overthrow the culture of corruption that silences women. So I think it's like a nice because it's like, I don't even remember where this was showing on the show. And usually in the show they'll like show social media stuff, and or even like in the episode we're gonna watch tonight, Kendall has like fake newspaper blow-ups, and they're actually like written out, and if you pause it you can like read I don't know, and just get a little bit more insight into the show and like how these characters think. But yeah, to me this one shows Kendall always everywhere performing you know what I'm trying to say. He's doing performative feminism offline and online, and then you could even see here he's getting ratioed, because look at the amount of comments. 1,049 comments, 15,000 retweets, and we know how probably most of those are going to be quote retweets, and only 7.1 thousand likes. If you see numbers like that, you're just kind of like, oh, this is probably like a dumpster fire in this thread. And I think that it's like a good, smidgen of a peek of how maybe like people from the outside world view Kendall, that they don't see him as like this grand savior, like feminist icon. He's really just like, you know, some dude from the company that like perpetuates all of their problems changing his tune. Not just some dude, actually, like some guy who had like substance abuse issues, and like you know, his family is turning against him and whatever. Like, I don't know, it's just like not a good look for him, I think. Okay, anyways, Kendall's apology to Shiv, because he tells her, this was in the 3rd episode, I forgot what the context was, but I think that he's trying to apologize for like how he's acted. Oh, it was because of him, you know, blowing up at his siblings when they didn't want to join his team. And he's like, when he told her, hey, I'm the real you, okay? I'm the real you because I'm doing something that a real feminist would do, and you don't even step up for a fellow woman, right? Even though his heart's like completely in the wrong place. But he apologizes to Shiv by saying, I think I'm right, I am right, you know? So him saying that, I think I'm right, like even just starting the apology that way is like okay, the audacity, right? And then to correct himself and be like, I am right in doing this. But still, he wants to be nice and cordial to him, or he still wants to be nice and cordial to his sister, and like, you know, try and repair things because of course they're siblings. But Shiv, she's trying to argue like, well, maybe I could change things from the inside. And then Kendall, he's kind of like, okay, you know, to him, he's seeing like, oh, okay, so dad told you that you get to be CEO. He says, it's you now, I'm sorry for you. And I wrote down, Shiv said, you don't care, it's ego, huh? I don't know what I meant by that. It was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what I meant by that, but hey, maybe if you remember that line, you can piece it together. You can tell me what I was trying to say. But I thought it was very interesting that Kendall, he's like completely given up on the whole CEO thing at this point. He's kind of like, he pities Shiv because their dad is dangling this position for them. Oh, speaking of this position, did you see that meme? Asked her what her favorite position is, and she said CEO. Perfect timing. Yeah, Daniel, welcome. I like the South Park gimmick. Yeah, my notes for the show's too long, and I take them on my iPod, or iPad. iPod. I take them on my iPad, so yeah. This is what I usually use as my camera. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm like speed running through all of this. I also put down Roman's inability to answer the questions about Logan being nice to them, because for the whole town hall meeting, I think it was for the town hall meeting, they wanted to do like nice stories for all of the siblings. I'm gonna slow this down too. Yeah, they wanted to do nice stories for all the siblings about Logan, I guess, and they were trying to ask Roman questions about it, and they're just like, oh, do you remember like a time that your dad was there for you, or like whatever, you know, just like very normal questions about like maybe like a father-son relationship. Roman was like, no, I'm not answering that one, I'm not gonna do that one. Like he cannot be bothered to, and I think it's also because he does not have any instances where he could pull the idea from. But he eventually tells them like, yeah, me and my dad went fishing one time and it was nice or whatever. But then we get the reveal later on that it wasn't even Logan that took him fishing, it was Connor. Connor was the one who stepped in because he's like, I think he's like 10 years older than the rest of his siblings. He's the child from the first marriage. Connor steps in as the father figure for a lot of the kids, as we see. Despite that, they don't respect them, which is really sad. But yeah, that was another tidbit that I wanted to point out. I get the feeling Kendall is going on these crusades to balance out all the bad stuff he's done, like some kind of moral math to break even. Ooh, that's a good perspective to come from. Yes, because he has been, you know, trying to wash away his sins. I think that we mentioned that during the last recap too, where he said something about being clean or something like that. But yeah, I definitely agree that this is like his way of breaking even with not just the car accident incident with the waiter kid, but maybe even just like following his dad's orders all this time, or you know, he was working for Waystar Royco when the cruise scandal broke out, and he did mention like that him and Connor, like they acknowledged that they were aware that unsavory things were going on. So yeah, it could be his way of speaking out, even if he doesn't find it to be performative. The way that it comes across is very performative. Like it doesn't feel like he's doing it because he authentically cares about the victims, but because like maybe that is a part of it. And then he also wants to atone for his sins, but he also wants to get back at his dad. Maybe it's just like the weight is uneven, you know what I mean? Let's see. I wrote down Logan and Shiv convo. Shiv doesn't seem like she trusts Logan's story, where Logan is like, I think she confronts him. She's like, Dad, I need to know like everything about the cruise scandals if, you know, I want to be folded in on this. And he's like, oh, you know, I don't want you to be involved in that because it's better if you keep your hands clean or something like that. Either way, she's like, oh, Dad, you weren't part of that, were you? And he's like, no, of course not. But it seemed like she didn't really trust his story. That's what I wrote down, but I can't think of it specifically. I personally don't think that Logan was involved, but I do think that he was aware and let it slide. I do think that he's like okay with like that kind of stuff happening as long as it doesn't ruin him, you know, because I do believe Kendall when he says that like Logan wouldn't let millions of dollars go unaccounted for, the hush money go unaccounted for, essentially. Let's see. Logan downplays it as a few bad apples. He doesn't want Shiv privy to the information, and he insists that he didn't know. So she does, yeah. So he does insist that he didn't know. But then again, like maybe he had suspicions, right? I think there's like a difference between being like you knew full and well and like you saw it happening and like all of that, but like you could still be suspicious of it, right? It's a very blurry line, and I think that he's really trying to tiptoe that line to keep himself safe. And then I also wrote down the law equals people equals politics. I can handle that. What does that mean? I don't know what I meant by that. Oh wait. No, that's what Shiv said. She says the law is people and people are politics, and that, you know, she's worked in the political sector before, so she can handle it. But I don't really know why I wrote that down. I don't know the significance of it. Let's see. Greg and Kendall. Kendall told Greg. Kendall backstabbed Greg again. He told Greg that he was going to hook Greg up with the watch, right? Greg assumed that meant that Kendall was gifting him a very expensive watch. But Kendall was just like, no, like I was just going to introduce you to the guy that sells watches. And Greg, he's like trying to impress Comfrey, like the blonde PR girl. And he's like, okay, well, you know, I guess I'll buy it. Like he doesn't want to embarrass himself, right? He's just now making a name for himself amongst the elite. So he's like, all right, like I guess I'll buy it. And I was thinking like, dude, Kendall, probably a billionaire, most likely a billionaire, if not like a multi-millionaire. Greg has to spend $40,000 for this watch, and I'm thinking Kendall can't even spare him. He can't even spare him a measly $40,000. But I'm sure for like Kendall, like yeah, it's pricey, but it's like, do something nice for your boy, man. Like he's the one who put you in the situation in the first place. He's the guy who had all of the receipts. But yeah, I thought that was another L for Greg. We've seen Greg, I don't know if I mentioned this later on in the notes. I think I do. But in the previous episode, Tom told Greg, he's like, no, I don't have to like tell them where I got the papers from, because Greg is really worried about being implicated in this. If Kendall tells his lawyers where he got the receipts from, that ties Greg to the crime of destroying evidence. Greg wants to keep his hands clean. But but Kendall pulls him aside and he's like, hey, I might have to burn you. I'm not saying I will, but I might have to. And Greg was like, you told me that you didn't have to, and now you're changing your story. So Kendall changes the story about the watch. He changes the story about having to burn Greg. He is proving himself to be untrustworthy and probably taking advantage of Gregory the Eggery. And we'll see how that plays out for him in the next few episodes. I also wrote down Kendall's ego. He's got an ego search. I wrote down VTuber self-searching. I mean, come on. Surely you've Googled yourself, right? Yeah, I feel like that's like an extension of the good tweet, bad tweet point, where he is trying to play off that he's not obsessed with how other people think of him, but he is clearly like very obsessed with how other people think of him. He wants to make sure that he is coming across as the martyr that he believes that he is. Oh my gosh, dude, I gotta buzz through this. Tom going to jail. He wants to play sacrifice for Logan. Shiv, I thought it was interesting where she's like, oh, you shouldn't do it. Like, Tom, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all. But then again, my dad would really like it if he did, right? She says that he shouldn't do it, but she doesn't necessarily discourage Tom from you know, doing it. Like, in fact, despite saying that he shouldn't do it, she's still like giving the reasons for why it would be good if he did, right? Very mixed signals here. That was just like another moment where I'm like, oh my god, poor Tom. Let's see. Logan says Mark Ravenhead is the greatest. And then there's like a really small... Oh, I put LOL. Okay, yeah, Mark Ravenhead is the greatest. Just wanted to point out that Mark Ravenhead is the guy that read Mein Kampf like 4 times. The one that Tom was like interrogating, and there was like a whole lot of like, this guy is like kind of sus. Are we wanting to start a little later than usual in the Discord? I think it'll be okay. Got like what? 18 minutes? I got it. I'll just keep reading. Let's see. State says Logan facing no consequences will shake the government trust, because Logan is trying to call the president to be like, hey buddy, like you maybe want to like lay your dogs off of me or something, and like maybe we could like work something out with the news, basically exchanging good coverage for legal favors. Even the employees are like, oh, wait, what? Even the employees are like, what the fuck is going on? Their questions are skipped in favor of pre-selected questions. I think that has to do with the town hall that I noted. Like the people at the top of Waystar are really trying to control the narrative, and they're also trying to pull any strings that they can with any of their contacts, specifically the president. But yeah, they were just like, yeah, even the president's kind of like, I don't know, this could be kind of, it could be rough waters if we decide to do this. Yeah, okay, so Ken going to Waystar for the town hall, and he even ignores his lawyer's advice. What was her name? Something Arthur. Oh, I forgot her name already. But the lawyer, she's a very competent person, and he tells her, hey, representing me is going to be the highlight of your career, by the way. Still can't believe he has the audacity to say that. But he ignores her advice. He says that they need momentum and whatever buttons, and they need momentum and to press whatever buttons they can to push to get what they want. In his mind, it's not moving fast enough. He's not really thinking of this from like a legal perspective, but like it's like theater to him. You know, he's trying to play this like savior and like martyr kind of person, and yeah, just really cringe moments from Kendall these last few episodes. But yeah, let's see. He does call Tom again while Tom is with Logan and the gang, and he calls him and he offers him an out by saying, hey man, another life is possible. If you want to come over here with me, I can give you a second chance. You don't have to be stuck over there. I know that you're not doing too hot in terms of like the legality of everything, so just saying, work with me and we could take them down together, and I can offer you a nice sweet spot in my new empire. But as Kendall is like, you know, sowing his seeds, Colin, the bodyguard, checks in on him, and he walks into the room ominously, leans in super close and says, "I know you," which is, I think, in my mind, I interpreted it as Colin reminding Kendall to know his place. He's like, "I know that you were involved in that car crash and that your dad covered up for you, and now you're going on like this little strange rampage again, trying to, you know, overthrow your dad, but like I know who you were, I know what you did, and I know that you are not doing the right thing right now." And at least that's how I interpreted it. And we ended the episode with Kendall sabotaging Shiv's, like, I think it was kind of her debut, wasn't it? Like, it was her very first big position in the company, her big speech with the company. He sabotages her business debut by playing Nirvana's "Rape Me" on speakers during her speech about the cruise scandals. So very, very nasty thing to do against his sister. Yikes. And she goes over to her dad afterwards, and he's just kind of like, you know, a little bit nonchalant. He's like, "Sorry, Pinky, now do you see?" He's like, "Now do you see like how much your brother sucks and why you should side with me?" So Shiv's like very, very upset with Kendall. She Yes. Okay, wait. So she calls Connor. She calls Connor and Roman over to approve of this statement that they're gonna put out against Kendall, to be like, "Hey, sorry that this happened during our town hall. It was actually like a result of like our brother crashing out. He's a druggie, he's problematic with women, his relationship with his wife is bad, as well as with his kids," basically airing out all of his dirty laundry. Connor and Roman are like firmly, "No, this is a bad move, and we'll only sign on to this." Well, I think Connor said he'll only sign on to it if they sweeten the deal for him. He says he wants some suck on his dicky dick. Basically, he's like, you know, "You're gonna give me, I need a little bit more if you want me to like completely disparage," is disparage the right word? Slander our brother. Let's see. And then, I did see Logan also making fun of Roman for saying nice things. He's talking about the, saying nice things about the, what do you call it? The fishing trip. The questions that Roman refused to answer earlier. Logan literally he literally calls his son a gay slur for basically saying, "I love you, Dad." Which kind of is like, okay, you know, another a peek into the kind of environment that they grew up in. Very not affectionate at all. Okay, episode after that, Ken, he tells Shiv, I don't know if we could come back from that. You picked the wrong side. Oh yeah, all of that whole story about Kendall, you know, being a problematic person, and that this is just part of like a long drug crash out, and basically discrediting him. That was happening right before he was gonna go onto Z-Way show. Z-Way is like a comedian interviewer, but I don't remember what her character's name was in the TV show. But yeah, basically it was kind of like a parody of Z-Way, or maybe not parody, maybe not at all. Yeah, maybe it's just a cameo from her. But yeah. He was gonna go on like this show where they're gonna make fun of him. He was like encouraging them to make fun of him. He was being really cringy about, you know, telling the writers what to joke about and whatever. But he backs out at the last second because he gets news that Shiv like wrote like such nasty things about him and published it, and Oh, that's our 10-minute warning. Ah. And yeah, that's why he's mad at her in the next episode. He says, I don't know if we could come back from that. You picked the wrong side. And then all of them are calling Team Ken to help to turn down the temperature. Logan calls Greg over to see like how he can get Greg to flip onto his side, and then the investor Josh wants to see Kendall and Logan to calm the store. Let's see. Greg is negotiating with Logan, and Logan teaches them how to game. One of the things that I always think about is, Carrie, can we please get Gregory some Coca-Cola? This is actually one of the scenes that I was dying laughing at because, oh gosh, what was it? Like something about the 60s, right? Like Greg's talking about the 60s. He's like, oh yeah, oh gosh, what was it? I don't remember what he even said. It was like better times, not for all. Let's see. Frank also calls Ken to go see the investor Josh, and he convinces him by saying Kendall could look good in front of the investor in case Logan were to step down. So Kendall's like, okay, fine, I'll go see Josh. We have Terminal Tom mulling over prisons. He talks about the toilet line and the lack of freedom. Shiv is trying to pull her influence while Tom says, I shouldn't take orders from you. Because she's trying to tell him to talk to Ravenhead about, like, you know, something on the news. But she has the final word on her demands. And Tom ultimately backs down. He's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But does he do it? I don't know. No, I don't know. Shiv does it for some reason. I don't quite remember. Let's see. Shiv has the final word on her demands. 1, get Ravenhead to shit talk the president, the current president, and then 2, get Greg to fall in line. I think Tom did work on number 2, but I think Shiv had to go talk to Ravenhead himself to shit talk the current president. We learned that Connor has leverage because he's been around the company for a very long time, so he's seen the bad culture firsthand. He said that back in the day they used to say no blacks, no Jews, no women above the 4th floor, and he was totally okay yelling that out so everybody on the floor could hear, because he wants his family to know that it's like, hey, I was there. I've seen the shitty things that dad let go on in his company, and I'm not afraid to speak out unless you guys help me with my presidential campaign. So Shiv is passing along that they can put him on the Food Network, but he's trying to build his political career. He says he wants 4 achievements and then he'll leave. So he's really trying to barter a real position, but like not like a super important position in the company. We see that Kendall, he gets to the investor first so he could control the narrative, but it doesn't show unity, which is what Josh is looking for. Josh is really worried that like this whole family is like being a circus by like tug of warring with like who's gonna be CEO. So yeah, he's like entertaining Kendall at first, but as soon as Logan arrives, Josh literally pushes Kendall aside to talk to Logan. Which I think shows that he definitely respects Logan as a leader and as the head of Waystar versus Kendall, and I really do think Kendall fumbled the ball with this meeting. We get Gojo mentioned. Oh my gosh, maybe we might need more time. Maybe another 10 minutes. We'll stay a little late. 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep going. Gojo mentioned, which is going to be an important part later, but we learned that it is a streaming app that Logan is interested in purchasing to add into their library. They go on a walk. Logan doesn't want to seem weak or ill, so he allows himself to be coerced to go on this long walk. We learned that Kendall and Roman paid a homeless guy to tattoo Kendall's initials on his forehead, and we learned that Kendall's initials are KLR. So yeah, a lot of people were like, what does Kendall's middle name, like what is it? Kendall L. Roy? Possibly Logan? Which does, like, I mean, it makes sense, because like Logan, I do think had viewed Kendall as like his protege, despite Kendall not really living up to the name as much as he would like him to live up to his name. But yeah, we do see it's KLR. It's not confirmed if it is Logan, but I do think it's fair speculation. Oh, we get the we get the iconic scene, Nero and Sporus. Greg says, oh, I'm not quite familiar with the IP. Tom tells a story of Emperor Nero, who pushed his wife down a flight of stairs, killed her, and castrated his male lover, and made his male lover dress in his wife's clothes and married him. And he tells Greg, I'd castrate you and I'd marry you in a heartbeat. Greg's like, nice. How do you respond to that? If your boss tells you that, how do you respond to that? And we see Tom, you know, a very failed recovery by trying to pick a fight with Greg. And yeah, basically, yeah, just picking a fight with him. He's like, well, you know, I'm just like you know, what was he trying to do? He was just trying to hit him. He's like, hit me back or whatever. And he's like, well, I didn't want to fight you anyways. I don't know. It was so cringe. And literally the first time I watched this scene, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Terminal Tom, prison's really getting to him. Let's see, we also see Shiv getting iced out at work a little bit more, like people just aren't respecting her. Her whole place in Waystar is for her to earn experience so her dad can appoint her as CEO. But it's very clear, like it's becoming clear that everybody is just sidelining her, and like she's just, you know, basically given like crayons to color, like busy work, you know. Let's see, we also put down, Tom tries talking to Shiv, but she can't offer solace. Oh yeah, he is always trying to open up about like his concerns about going to prison. Like he just wants somebody to talk to about it. But Shiv, she's like, I don't know what I can say to you, you know, like I can only, like this is all that you want to talk about, and like I can only take so much of it. But I thought it was interesting that like at least on screen we don't see her being sympathetic to this once, you know, like she's just kind of like, oh well, you know, that sucks, right? She's not really listening to him or like hearing out his concerns or even like empathizing with him. She's really just doing the bare minimum, if that. And other times she's just completely dismissing it, trying to be like, oh, that sucks, well anyways, here's my problems. So yeah, another wife L, Shiv's the L wife. Let's see, Logan, he says, oh yeah, while they're talking to Josh, Logan is doing a little bit of potentially emotional manipulation with Ken. He says, oh, it'll be okay, like our whole like Waystar is gonna be okay because Kendall's a good kid, I love him, maybe it'll be him one day, like maybe he's the best one to pick. And yeah, he's like really just trying to signal to Josh like, oh, I love my son and whatever, and maybe even trying to win Kendall a little bit, because this is very rare praise from Logan. We never hear him say I love you to his kids. And that raised the question, did he mean it? But Kendall does respond to it. He says, you'll say anything to get fucked on a date. So I think even Kendall might have seen through it, but you do see like some micro expressions on him where it did kind of like, I don't know, I think it kind of affected him a little bit. Like I think he did want to hear that, but it's like, okay, he wants to hear it, but does he believe it? Yeah. Okay, Logan getting ill / tired on the walk. He can't show weakness, so he keeps walking even when he's about to puke. Made it look worse in the process, getting heat stroke, and he tells Josh no doctor, but you know, by the end of it Josh has to call the doctor anyways. And Kendall does try to like save the conversation, but it's very clear that Josh didn't like Kendall playing the game while Logan is unwell, because it doesn't really show the family unity that he's looking for. We also see Shiv trying to play the big girl, but no one takes it seriously. We see Jerry give some... Actually, I wrote it down. I don't think you guys are gonna get it now, but Jerry's advice, how does this advance my personal position? But I think that it's a very good indicator to how Jerry, speaking of Jerry, I like how your meme just showed up, how Jerry is operating. What are her motives? Her motives is to advance her own position. That's how she works. So yeah. Let's see. I also put down Carrie is getting more screen time, and she is the assistant to Logan. She's the one with like the long black hair and the blunt bangs. Josh, he is also out, we learned, and he's talking to Stewie, showing that he has zero faith in the post-Logan leadership. We literally see as Kendall and Logan are leaving Josh's like island or whatever, Stewie lands and they're being very friendly and they're greeting with each other. So I think that was like the final nail in the coffin for Team Logan and Kendall on that one. Okay, the episode after that is these notes are a little bit more shorter because I didn't have much to write on. Episode after that is season 3 episode I don't know why I said it like that. Season 3 episode 4. Let's see. Kendall, I put down how he says how he gets we start the episode with him answering a phone call where I think it might be Jess on the other side of the line or somebody that's like with his kids and like maybe a nanny, but his kids want to feed their rabbit a bagel and she's like, well, I looked online and it says that bagels are really bad for rabbits, and he's like, okay, well, a little bagel won't hurt the rabbit. So I think that shows how he doesn't care for the rules. Like he's brought up in unimaginable wealth, so he's always thinking like, oh, whatever, if it's like a fuck up, like I could probably get out of this, if that makes sense. And we do later learn that the rabbit got ill from eating the bagel. So yeah, I think that's like a little you'll see like more of that kind of aspect of his character throughout the show, and then maybe like as we were watching the previous episodes, like I think maybe there might have been signs of that too. Let's see. Convincing Team Sandy Stewie, I put S3 to settle. That's their next goal. They want Sandy, and Stewie to settle. This is during their this one, the annual shareholders meeting. They're trying to convince Team Sandy Stewie to settle the debt. Not the debt, but like the proxy war. So the S3's asks is that they want their costs for this whole like thing to be convened. They also want 3 board seats, and they also want veto rights for any of the Roys becoming CEO. Let's see. I just have I have like notes that aren't relevant to the story, so it's like kind of hard to navigate it, but I'm just gonna read it straight down. I wrote down one thing that I wanted to look into was how they have British I guess like phrases that they say a lot. So instead of like, you know, in regards to the asks, instead of being like, okay, well, think about it, they said, oh, I'll have a think, which I kind of remember in the podcast or something they talked about that being like more British language, like British phrasing. And they also say like piss mad and stuff, like Logan, he's gone piss mad. So I was thinking like, is that because it's British writers and like showrunners, like the Peep Show crew, their influence, or is it because of like a class language? Because I learned that like East Coast elites would mimic, like the transatlantic accent, for example, was mimicking the British accent purposefully to make them sound more educated and sophisticated. Despite that, I think the British people did like not really see it as like a sophisticated thing. They thought it was like I guess like classless. No, not classless, but yeah. Anyways, I wrote down Connor wants in for his presidential campaign. He says that Kendall is screwy, Shiv's a fake, and Roman is a knucklehead. So Dad, I think that you should give me the position. inside the company. You know, like if you given like my 3 younger siblings who all suck a position, I don't see like why I can't have my chance. Let's see, I also wrote down here how Kendall might burn Greg again. So yeah, him not keeping his word, in addition to the watch hookup. And he does dangle that with like, oh, you know, I might burn you, or you could just drop your joint defense, because he does eventually fold in with Logan's representation, much to his grandpa's like displeasure. But yeah, Kendall's telling him like, you can either drop the joint defense, or you know, I might have to burn you. And yeah, and I don't think that Greg should have taken, or should even consider that, because we've seen time and time again that Kendall has been unreliable in keeping his promises, and he's already fucked up by dropping Pew Service, who's Ewan's friend, and Ewan is said that Greg is out of the will, and all of his inheritance is going to Greenpeace, and I think that was like $250 million. And Ewan tells Greg to take himself seriously. So I thought, oh, is this gonna trigger a Greg lock-in? Maybe we'll see. We'll see in these next few episodes. More signs of Logan being unwell, because like I said, he has his UTI. He says that he thinks that Sandy, and Stewie folding too soon is very sus, and he's like, okay, well, what did they know that we don't know? And all of that kind of stuff. And we do see like signs of him being like unwell, where he calls Colin asking for a pill, and Colin's like, oh, which pill do you want? You want the Advil? And Logan's like, what do you think? And Colin's like, huh? Logan's like, about the deal. What do you think about the deal? Like, why would he ask his bodyguard about that? He's very clearly confused. Everybody's arguing Logan's reasoning for killing the deal, but they still trust his word even if they don't get it, because he's surrounded by yes men practically, and all of them are too afraid of him to speak out against them. I think this episode was a very good indicator of that, in addition to like Boar on the Floor from season 2. This is like another indicator of like how easily people would follow Logan's word just because of how influential he is. He's very clearly like confused and unwell, but they're like, oh, well, you know, he's a beast, he probably knows what he's doing. Like, they're trying to do anything to justify it. We get a good moment for Tom. Tom gets called son by Logan, and you know, it was while Logan is confused, but I do think that Tom is making some good moves by like offering himself up as the sacrifice and all of that, and helping Logan go pee-pee. Let's see. Logan had the UTI, making him go a little loopy, and he was hallucinating, I guess, or was like scared of a dead cat under the chair, and he mentioned how he doesn't want Rose to see it. Another mention of his deceased sister. So yeah, the last time we saw or heard about Rose was during the Dundee episode in season 3, where Reiya Jarrell was like, oh, and here's a toast to your mom and Rose, and that like really soured the mood. So yeah, what's up with that? A little bit more for Roman's heart. He is caring for his dad's recovery, not speeding it up, because they were talking about like getting Logan onto stage for the shareholder meeting to do like a little speech or something, and they're saying like, oh, well, can we make this go by faster? And Roman is just kind of like, I don't want to speed this up, like I want to make sure that dad heals properly, and like, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So I do think that's another good sign of Roman being a good person despite being very fucked up. We learned that Greg wants to sue Greenpeace for there's like he said there's like a comment on their website against him that could be grounds for suing them for defamation or something. So he wants to sue them because they stole his inheritance, but just his grandpa signed them away because his grandpa doesn't like the road that he's going down. So yeah, very like we're seeing his morals start to slip more and more, which for me is like really, really fun. Let's see. Nobody but Connor wants to talk to the president. The president calls because he wants to talk to Logan. But nobody wants to step up and do that position. But Connor's like, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it. Nobody wants Connor to talk to the president. But Roman is the one that they bat up. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he did a good job or not. I think they later mentioned that he like kind of fucked it up or something, but I don't know. I thought he did okay. I don't quite remember. Let's see. Shiv makes a plan to give Sandy and herself a board seat. So they have a backway deal between those two. So they will end up with 4 new board seats because she's like, okay, well, if you get one, then I get one, and then it'll be balanced out and it'll be all good. So she does that without anybody's permission. Tom is trying to put a baby in Shiv before jail. He's very much trying to get her knocked up. We get Kendall being the king of cringe with at the shareholder meeting. I think he walks Carl off stage or Frank off stage, like one of those old guys. He walks them off stage and he interrupts and he's like, oh, we need a moment of silence for the victims, and he like lists off all their names, and it's like very, very like performative and cringe, and it's just like, oh my god. Right? I forgot, I guess. Oh yeah, they cut off the mics or something. They cut off the mics and he's like still talking. Either way, that gets wrapped up. I wrote down Shiv, take a hint, because she keeps talking to her dad about like, you know, how the event went and all of that, but she gets yelled at because she's like, oh, I don't think we need to celebrate right now, and like I think we gotta plan the next steps and like X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah. And he's like, will you stop fucking buzzing in my ear? Yells at her in front of everybody, and this is on top of like the fact that nobody's taking her seriously in her job. Completely humiliated by everyone, but still Tom comes in and he consoles her, and which is like way more than she would do for him. But yeah, I mean she should have taken the hint the first time. it was kind of, I'm not gonna say it was deserved, it was definitely very mean, and I can't imagine like the feeling that she had, but like, girl, he was clearly not into it. Let's see, another thing was that Logan keeps Kendall waiting. Carrie goes over to Kendall and his team, and she's like, oh, by the way, your dad wants to talk to you in this room, and he just doesn't show up. He actually just leaves. So it was another power play for Logan to I don't know, just hold more weight over Kendall. Okay, all right, last episode, here we go. I don't have too much notes on this one. Kendall, he needs to come clean on his involvement with the Waystar or the Bright Cruise, like cruise scandals, right? The lawyers are like, okay, you're gonna have to tell us everything, like what you knew, all of that kind of stuff. He is kind of like skirting around it. He's like, yeah, whatever. We have Connor meeting the con heads at the conservative political rally. I put down a network thing, question mark, where ATN picks who they want to back, but it's like their little political rally where ATN, I don't know if they're hosting it, but I do think that like a lot of people see them as sort of like the central figures for this event. They want to get on ATN's good side, so that way ATN will say good things about them on the news. So it's basically like they're bartering, trading favors and stuff. Like Tim talking about pest labeling. Right, she was like clearly being such a nuisance. Like, Shiv, come on. Okay, yeah, but yeah, at the thing, Connor meets a couple of con heads, so we see that like outside of like Connor's delusions, there's actually people who are willing to back him in this whole thing. Let's see, Shiv does not want to hear Tom's jail stories. She says she can't keep doing it, but I wrote down, we've never seen her listen. Like literally in the last episode, she is talking about like, oh my god, like shut up about that already. I wrote down to keep an eye on the Roman and Mencken chemistry, because there is like, I don't know, like the way that Roman looks at Mencken is a little bit like a twinkle in his eye, and we do have speculation that Roman could be bisexual. We know that he's like, outside of like, you know, the heteronormative sexual norms, I guess, if that's if that's not a buzzword salad. He's a very odd sexual figure, but we do know that in previous seasons he was mentioned to having get jerked off by his personal trainer, who was a male. So who knows? Maybe there's like a little bit of tension under there, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. If you squint hard enough, Succession is a yaoi. I also put down again, Ken is disobeying his lawyer at every turn. He shows up at Waystar when she advised not to. He just ends up, he calls her toxic, and we learn that he drops her. She's not representing him anymore. Let's see. Deals to get to ATN. One guy says he'll give, Salgado, I think, who is like more left-leaning political person, nominee, that he wants to run for president. He's like, hey, if you can work out something for me to get on ATN's good side, I can make sure that when I'm president, I will make you CEO of Waystar Royco. And then, you know, so we got like some more back channel deals going on for Shiv. Let's see, when they're talking about picking the next candidates, Greg is allowed in the room. So we see Greg making some big steps. He was given, he was taken seriously for like the leverage he had with Logan, so he was able to negotiate a little bit with Logan. And I think Logan did admit, I don't know if it was in that episode or like before, he did say, I like you, Greg. So I think Greg does possess some qualities that Logan admires. Maybe like he's very ambitious and a go-getter. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting that Greg was allowed in that room. And then I also thought it was interesting that Carrie she gave her input 3 times in that whole thing. And we've seen her giving like her input throughout the last few episodes too. Without Logan being like, oh, shut up or whatever. Like, he's actually letting her have a say, and I think taking what she has to say into consideration. Let's see. Kendall offers Tom an out. Oh yeah, officially. So it's not just a phone call. Kendall tells Tom to meet him at the diner, and he offers Tom an out. And Tom says, wait, let's see. Ken offers Tom an out, but he can't say he has a strong case. Yes, he can't even admit. He's like, you know, I can offer you an out, but he can't even admit to Tom that like he knows that he can win this thing. So it definitely comes across that like Kendall needs Tom. He needs Tom's favor in order to like push himself over the finish line. Meanwhile, Tom is kind of like, you know, he literally says, I have seen you get fucked over a lot, but I've never seen your dad lose. So I can't say in good faith that I want to like join your team. Like, your dad never loses, and like you're like an L like machine. So and we in that same diner too, I don't think it was this scene, but like an earlier scene, Greg asked Tom if he can like hang his legal misdoings on Tom's branches, because he's like the Christmas tree for like all the white collar crimes. Everybody is just landing it, like he's the scapegoat. He's already offered himself up, and he's taking on everybody since. Buzzing in my ear. Greg is allowed in the room, was like keeping the baby in the playpen in the room. But they had to kick them out, like, in the actual important stuff happened when they were inviting the guys to come over. We get Mencken coming over, where, what did I do? Mencken slash, oh, I was like Mencken slash POV, but no, it's like poll, like on 4chan, like the poll board. Mencken is being seriously considered, but he's very, very clearly a bad guy. Roman's way of speaking, I put ironic or distance. I don't have like a direct quote for that, so I don't know. But Shiv photo with Mencken, she clearly doesn't want to be in that picture with him because she doesn't want to be associated with somebody with morals morals that he has, which is quite honestly fair. He's not awesome for a someone who was backing Democrats' careers to be aligned with someone who definitely seems to be on the complete other side. So she's very clearly unhappy in this photo too. But yeah, very, very interesting plays here. Meanwhile, Roman's kind of moving on up too. He's making his dad proud. His dad is like, he's like, you know what? I think this guy, he could be the guy that we want to back, and this is the guy that Roman brought on the platter. Let's see. Also, Greg is being celebrated because he told people that he wants to sue Greenpeace for taking his inheritance. Okay, alright, that was a lot. Yeah, we're running quite late, but it's okay. Because it's usually just when we started anyways. Okay. I want to check the, here we go. Let me hide this. This is what's next. We're going to be watching the episode 7 and episode 8 of season 3. Episode 7 is Too Much Birthday. At Kendall's lavish birthday bash, Shiv and Roman try to arrange a meeting with Lucas Mattsson, a tech mogul who recently snubbed Logan. Lucas Mattsson is the, I think, founder or like the CEO or both of Gojo, the streaming app that was mentioned earlier. So we get to see Gojo take more of a role. And after that, we're going to watch Shantyshire, I think I said that okay, at a Lux family wedding in Italy. Roman airs suspicions, Jerry draws a line, and the Waystar team grows concerned about rogue tweets. Very, very fun, very, very interesting. And then after that, oh, where's the image for this? Lol, it's not even here. After that, so this is what we're gonna watch tonight. I just want to give you guys a heads up. Next week will only be one episode because it's gonna be the season finale of season 3. And then after that, yeah, we'll be starting our final season of Succession. If I had more time, I would yap about it, but about how thankful I am that we've come so far in this show, but no no time for that. Let me go ahead and pull up our results. Let's take a look at our stock exchange. Zoom in. All right, who are we selling, investing, and skipping this week? We have one invest for Kendall Roy, and we have one invest for Shiv Roy. I see. I think, Kendall, I know that we keep talking about how he might like crash out, and like, he it's kind of like that cycle. It's so over, we're so back, it's so over, we're so back. I think I don't know, maybe whoever's investing in Kendall thinks that we're the it's so over period is over and we're so back. Shiv is also a good one, I think, because she's standing by her morals. I'm not sure. Selling Tom Mom scams. I think this is a very fair one because it does seem like it's kind of over for him. He's going to jail. He's accepted his fate, and he's letting himself be the sacrifice for Logan. Doesn't really seem like he has a way out, so I guess we'll see how that pans out for him. We're skipping on Logan, and then we're also skipping on Shiv, which I think is also very fair. Let's see, who's everybody's pick for Logan's successor? Connor Roy, once again, was... oh, this is Roman Roy, sorry, the wrong green. Roman Roy, the freak will prevail. He is in good terms with his dad. I think he is definitely Logan's first pick right now, considering how sidelined Shiv seems to be. And then, let's see, Jerry Gilfuller. I honestly think that she shouldn't be like interim CEO. I think that she should be the pick. But for whatever reason, Logan does not believe that she has what it takes. She has the experience. She's been there. I think they said they've been working together for like 30, 40 years or something. It makes sense. It makes sense. But he's like, he doesn't want to do it. Favorite moments for this week. Kendall cringe. It's always... big chef's kiss. I love seeing Kendall blow up. Any thoughts about the show? I'm looking forward to the main conflict pivoting towards the election. It was about time to get off that we might lose the company to the Stewie and Sandy plot. Yes, I do think that like the show kind of circles around the same plots over and over, but it's a little bit like hard, at least for me, it's hard to notice because I'm very engaged with like the tension between the characters and like the character driven parts of the plot. But I do think that like the central thing that they revolve around typically happens to be the same thing. But yeah, I do think that like adding this election aspect to it does have a bit of adds a little bit of a spin to it. It's a little bit fun. Why don't you shut off that computer, Tom? I'm feeling romantical. I still can't believe Tom said that he will castrate Greg and marry him in a heartbeat. That's a wild thing to say. That's, oh my god, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I mean, hey, Tom Greg, when I saw her face, I'm a believer. Anyways, Hill, welcome. I'm so sorry. I gotta end right now as we're coming in like right at the end because we are running 25 minutes late to Suck Sunday. So we're gonna go straight into the Discord so we can go ahead and start and watch the rest of the show. We're gonna be watching, like I said, season 3, episodes 7 and 8, kind of like almost the last two of the season. Sorry, the last 3 of the season, because next week will be the season finale, so please look forward to that. We're gonna go in right meow, yeah. Always skip Shiv because the show isn't sure, because the show sure isn't. Wait, always skip Shiv because the show sure, oh, because they're not skipping her? Sorry, my reading comprehension is down the toilet right now. I was outside for way too long. Oh my gosh. I had one drink too, because it was $28, dude. It was $28, and because I was like, they're like, oh, you want a double? I was like, she's like, oh yeah, it's only $7 more and it's cheaper than buying another drink. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. And at first it was really strong, but like very easy to sweat it out. Maybe I should have gotten like a quadruple. If it was a quadruple, imagine how dead I'd be right now. Anyways, if you've been sitting down for as long as I have, make sure you give your body a nice big stretch. Don't forget to stay hydrated. And last but not least, treat yourself to something nice. It's Sunday. I'm gonna pay extra attention to my skincare routine tonight. That's how I like to treat myself on Sundays. Yeah, and until next time, take care. Bye. I shall see you guys in the Discord right now. I'm gonna start the event right meow. Sorry for late. But yeah, $28 for a drink. It's because it's like a closed off festival, right? So you have to pay, you're paying like bar price plus like, hey, this is a music festival, you can't leave the venue, so I know if you want to get drunk, like we can upcharge you kind of thing. So yeah, but I think it was like regular was like, no, regular had to be $21. Was it 21? It was like a Paloma is what I got. But yeah, it was like $7 to add an extra shot in there. And it was all at the top. Maybe if I mixed it better, I would have felt better, but whatever. Okay, bye bye.